Hi guys, and welcome back to the Iron Personal Training YouTube channel. We're back this time with a dynamic upper body session. So this is following on from the last bench session that you saw, and again took place around like New Year kind of time, I think. So like I say, these videos are coming from a long time ago now, but we're going to try and get them up quickly. And we're doing our first session in the wave of dynamic work. So we've got 80 kilos into 3 chains aside. The chains in total, when they're fully off the ground, weigh about 56 kilos. But obviously the trainers don't fully come off the ground, so it's hard to say exactly what kind of weight they're at the top. So we're somewhere between probably like the 130 and 120 range at the top of the movement. And why using chains? So obviously we're trying to be nice and explosive in the movement, but we're also trying to create instability as well, which is what the chains do. And as you can see, what we're doing here to show you this is we're showing you the sets with the rests sped up in between. If you like watching speed work like this, let me know and I'll film more videos like this and put them up like this. So let me know if you do enjoy it. And as you can see in all of these, as we go back to normal time here, bring the bar out, nice setup, nice and explosive off the chest. The bar is pressing at a bit of an angle, and I was not quite sure what I was doing that. There might have been a slight disparity in how the chains are set up, but like I said, I didn't notice until I watched the video back, and you couldn't really feel it while you were pressing either. So yeah, like I say, the reason we use chains is to try and be more explosive in the movement, but it's also going to create instability that we have to come over as well. You can see we come down, there's chains deload at the bottom, and we're trying to press nice and quickly to outrun that chain weight so we can get a nice clean lockout. We then go to some camber bar bench. So we've got 120 kilos on the bar here. We're doing 3 sets of 5. So when you use a camber bar, it's quite hard to set up. Known as a camber bar or buffalo bar, might actually be a way of describing this, is the bar has got a big bend in the top. So what that means is that when you're pressing off your chest, you're pressing from a declined position, which means that you're having to really work on that power off the chest. So if you do struggle off the chest and you've got access to one of these bars, I would really recommend giving them a go. A nice pause at the bottom of the feature up here, and that actually felt more comfortable than I was expecting. And we have the nice instruction of a doggo as well, which is always good. Next we come on to some deficit pendlay rows. So basically just doing like your normal pendlay rows, but pulling them from a deficit. So I'm just getting myself set. So how to do this? Obviously you're increasing the range of motion, and you can basically make the movement harder. A bit like doing a deficit deadlift or anything like that, same kind of principle. And I really enjoying doing these. I'm going to do a lot more of my pendlay rows like this as well. I was really happy with how the weight moved as well. So doing 80 kilos here, and we went into 100 kilos by the end of the block. So like I say, really happy with how they felt. We then came on to some kneeling single arm lat pull downs. It's the first time I've actually done these. I did like them. You got quite a nice pump on the lats. Did take a little bit of time to find obviously the best weight to use for these, and as you can see, the video angle is absolutely useless, so I do apologise for that. But yeah, something nice and different. I think next time I do these, what I'm going to do different is I'm going to set up a bench so I can do these as a chest supported movement, just so I get a bit more isolation in the lats as well. Can't get as much swing, so you're getting a bit more of that dedicated work into the lats. We then come on after this, we come on to some flies, which we then do in as a superset with some rear delt flies as well. So we do the flies first. So nothing special with the flies weight wise, just trying to get as much weight and as good reps as possible. So you can see, just set myself there. Every time I do these, and you can see in that position there where I hold it for a second, I think, oh my god, I'm a world's strongest man doing a Hercules hold. But that thought does only last for a minute. But that intrusive thought does always win as well, and always take a second to stand in that position. So as you can see, just standard cable flies working with that side peg, which often gets overlooked when doing powerlifting. So we then just take the handles off. Being a bit slow here because I didn't want the handles to smash into the machine. Finally worked out what I needed to do. So we literally just take the handles off. As you can see, he's taking much longer than it should have. Alter the weight, and then we're going to go into some rear delt flies, doing them at the same height and everything. So I really like to run this as a superset, obviously because you're not going directly straight into the bit of time. I just change the handles and the weights. It's not like the strictest of supersets, but it's still one exercise into the other. You could just keep the handles on, but they really flap around and get really annoying. So I do like to take them off while I'm doing it as well, which is just a personal preference, but obviously it's up to you if you would want to do that as well. It really doesn't make a difference to the actual exercise itself. They just really annoy me when they're flapping around, so that's the only reason I do it like that. No better reason. We're then coming on to some decline tricep roll back. So again, declining it, so we're trying to extend the range of motion on these. And I've really enjoyed doing these actually. They made the movement much harder, and I could use much less weight, so it's much less systemically fatiguing. And rollbacks are my favourite dumbbell tricep exercise. Really up there with like your JMs and close grip, shoulder saver, bench pressing as well. But as you can see, moving these really nice. I believe these are 22.5 kilos. Like I say, this session was from ages ago. I really should have got my plan up before looking at this so I could tell you the weights, but yeah, I'm sure that's what they were. And just really getting that nice tricep work in there. You can see triceps are looking quite nice and big at the top as well, so very happy with that. We then have some really dainty getting off the bench as well, which is always a nice way to finish. Then come on to some reverse grip bicep curls. Again, you're going to see some fantastic film angles here. You can really see the full movement in its total glory. Like Christopher Nolan would be proud of that shot. But yeah, as you can see, just working the biceps. While I do reverse curls, you get a bit of forearm work in there as well. So it has a little bit more of a direct crossover to the bench. But that's it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching.